Hello. I want to talk about President Obama again. President Obama has nobody to, as I said before, but himself. He came into the White House and could have accomplished so much. He decided to go a different path. And now all of a sudden, he's trying to wake up, but it's too little, too late. Back in 2009, when he came into the White House, he could have done, I list 6 things that could have put him in a category of becoming one of the greatest presidents. Number 1, the first thing he should have done was repeal those Bush tax cuts, at least for the top 2%. Not only that, he should have raised the top 2% to at least 45% until the economy got better, because America would have understood, because America was just wanting leadership at the time, and they just wanted this country to get back to where it used to be, and he blew it. The number 2 thing he should have immediately done was to end his wars immediately. He could have came to Congress and said he wanted that Iraq war ended within the first year of his presidency, and the Afghanistan war ended within 18 months. Could have saved so much money. And the third thing he could have done, which he should have done, the third thing was the stimulus package, which was really a bad idea in the first place. He should have just created a jobs bill and called it an infrastructure bill, which he could have used $1 trillion, with just $1 trillion, with no tax cuts whatsoever in that, to create millions of jobs. He could have created 4 million jobs with $1 trillion jobs bill package, rebuilding this country. No, he decided to take a different route and knock it down to, he let the Republicans talk him into knocking it down to about $750 billion, which $350 billion was tax cuts. And everybody knew it wouldn't work. So that was another bad thing he did. And the 4th thing he should have done was immigration. He could have passed some immigration bill, either it was the DREAM Act or some immigration reform bill, because the Republicans, like I said, didn't have no say-so whatsoever. The country just didn't believe in them anymore, and Obama had a good chance to do that. And the 5th thing, regulations. Not only could have regulated the banks more than what he did. I know he passed a regulation bill, but it's weak. It didn't do anything. He could have passed a more strict regulation bill that would have made these bankers more responsible for what they've done. You know, he could have indicted a few of these bankers to send a message to Wall Street that we're not going to tolerate this no more. But he didn't do that neither. And the 6th thing he could have done was told, I know he wanted health insurance real bad, but the health bill was really bad at that time because the economy was in such bad shape. He could have waited to get a health care bill passed until the economy got a little better. But anyway, he could have just told the insurance companies that if you guys don't lower these premiums, I'm going to put a trigger in place within 3 years that's going to put a public option in there. You know, I'm going to bring a public option if you guys don't lower these premiums, and if you guys don't include pre-existing accounts. I mean, you know, where people who's sick, you got to give them insurance. Or if you guys don't do those 2 things, if I don't see premiums come down, I'm going to use a trigger that's going to make the public option be included in 3 years. But he ain't really had to do no health care bill, because right now, people's worrying about jobs. If he would have done those 6 things, not only I believe the unemployment rate would probably be about 6.5, 6.6 right now, and the economy would be doing a lot better, but all those 6 things I just mentioned, he didn't do neither. Not neither. And what have he gotten by trying to go to the middle? He wasn't even in the middle. He was too far to the right. It haven't got him nowhere. He listened to people who put it in his head, who's in his cabinet. He listened to those blue dog Democrats who put that in his head. And it didn't get him nowhere. Look where we at right now. He kept the Bush tax cuts. He kept these wars going on. He had a stimulus package that included half of it was tax cuts, and it wasn't big enough. He didn't regulate the banks. He didn't indict people. And what did he expect? He could have been a great president, but now he's going to be known as one of the, to me, I ain't going to say the worst, but he's not going to be up there. He's probably in the mid-30s. I'm not going to say he's worse than Andrew Johnson or he's worse than George W. or Hoover or Buchanan, but he's no better. He could have been in the Roosevelt League. He could have been in Abraham Lincoln, Washington, because when a president comes into a bad situation, like Obama did, it's only greatness that follows them. And it makes him a great president, and he blew it. He blew it. It's too little, it's too late. And people don't believe in you no more. I walk around and I hear people. People just don't believe in you no more, sir. You let the Republican Party dictate your presidency. You let them control your presidency. You let them get in your head. And I'm beginning to think that you have to have some conservative views for all the things that you've done. You have to. Because I know they're getting in your head, but come on. These things that you've done in the past 20 years has been really overboard. A Democrat don't do things the way a true Democrat don't do the things that you've done. And all of a sudden you want us to forgive you? I read on the Huffington Post where you just can't understand why liberals are so upset. I just named 6 reasons of why the liberals are so upset with you. You seem really are taking us for granted. Think that what else do we have to turn? But people are not excited about voting for you, sir, because they feel like if you get a second term, you're just going to cave in and give them everything again. You weak. And the Republicans know you weak. That's why they're not going to cave into anything, to any of your demands. All of a sudden, you want a jobs bill? After Labor Day, you want to come back after Labor Day and present a jobs bill? And I know what it's going to be. It's going to be like tax cuts, which don't work. It's going to be like an infrastructure bill, which probably be about $50 billion. Ain't going to work. What makes you think the Republicans are going to give you that anyway? You had a chance when you had 256 members of the Democratic Party in Congress. You could have accomplished a lot. You could have got $1 trillion jobs bill without any tax cuts in that jobs bill. And you could have put millions of people back to work. But you wanted to be this president where you have to try to make the other side likes you. A true leader don't care about what the opposition thinks when times are bad. And that was your problem. You cared too much what the opposition thought. And now you're paying for it because they're not going to give you anything. You could have been a great president, Mr. Obama, and you blew it. You have upset too many people. And all of a sudden you want to pass this and do an executive order, stop this from immigrants, just criminals. You could have, when you first became president, when we elected you, we wanted a change. We wanted these Bush tax cuts and we wanted these wars to stop, all this nonsense that's going on in this country. And we thought that you would do that. But when you get into office, you don't do none of it. You made it even worse. You kept all the Bush programs. You kept all of them. You even kept some people in his cabinet around. That's not change. That's not change. That's an insult. And I'm sorry that your poll numbers are down because there's one reason why your poll numbers are down. And I can tell you that people don't believe in you no more. People say, oh, when time push come to shove, They might just vote for you, but a lot of people probably just don't even show up at the polls because they are so disappointed in you. You could have been a great president and you blew it. You let the Republicans get inside your head. You let them control everything you do. Now all of a sudden you think they're going to come around? These people are never going to come around. You should have just rolled right over them as soon as you became president. They disrespected you a minute before you even became president when Judge Roberts intentionally gave the oath wrong. He did that intentionally so he can say to his white wing racist friends that, you see what I did? I made the president look bad. I wasn't going to swear no black man in. I humiliated him. I couldn't be seen swearing a black guy in. That was disrespectful. That was done intentionally. You didn't even see it. And they've been disrespecting you ever since. They saw how weak you are. And the liberals see how weak you are. I just hope that you learned your lesson. And I just hope any other Democrat will learn a lesson from this. You know, when your opposition is coming at you the way that Republicans do, you don't cave into them, Democrats, because they will roll over you. It's either you roll over them or they're going to roll over you. And that's one thing Obama didn't learn. Thank you.